Okay, welcome everybody to Halfway to Heaven. We hope we are halfway to heaven with this campaign. As I think you all know, the global trend is towards same-sex marriage. It's already been legislated in Canada, South Africa and Argentina, as well as 7 European countries. Portugal, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway and Iceland. So the question we are asking our government is, why can't we have marriage equality too? Political support for ending the ban on same-sex marriage is growing across the political spectrum. Ed Miliband, the new elected leader of the Labour Party, supports it, as does Nick Clegg, the Deputy Prime Minister in the coalition government. We also have the support of Boris Johnson, the Conservative Mayor of London. So the trend is in our favour. The trend is towards same-sex marriage as a principle of equality for everyone. We know that both the Liberal Democrat and Green Party conferences have voted overwhelmingly, not only in favour of ending the ban on gay civil marriage, but also on ending the ban on heterosexual civil partnerships. An opinion poll conducted by Populus in June 2009 found that 61% of the British people support same-sex civil marriage. In other words, the right of a lesbian or gay couple to get married in a registry office on exactly the same basis as their heterosexual friends and families. So everything is moving both nationally and internationally in favour of same-sex marriage. And we want to emphasise in favour of heterosexual civil partnerships. This is not a gay rights campaign, it's a campaign for equal love rights for everyone, gay and straight. We want both civil marriage opened up to same-sex couples and civil partnerships opened up to heterosexual couples. Our view is that denying couples these rights is an affront to their human rights. Denying couples the right to civil marriage and civil partnership on the basis of their sexual orientation is a form of discrimination and needs to end. Our aim in this campaign, the Equal Love campaign, is to secure equality in civil marriage and civil partnership law. We want both systems opened up to all couples, gay and straight, so that everyone has a free and equal choice. So just as gay couples should be able to marry, civil partnerships should be available to straight couples. In terms of how we move things forward, this is the sort of opening shot in our campaign. We plan to ultimately work for a legal challenge. We plan to work for a legal challenge to the twin bans on gay marriage and on heterosexual civil partnerships. This is being organised and sponsored by my own human rights campaign in conjunction with the LGBT human rights group OutRage. Starting next week, on the 2nd of November, 8 couples will file applications at their local register offices. 4 same-sex couples will apply for civil marriages, and 4 heterosexual couples will apply for civil partnerships. So from the 2nd of November through to the 14th of December, every week 1 couple will make an application, leading to a total of 8 applications in all. If the couples are refused the right to a civil marriage or a civil partnership, we plan to take legal action. We will argue in the courts that in a democratic society, gay and straight couples should be equal before the law. In other words, both civil marriages and civil partnerships should be open to everyone without discrimination. The lead same-sex couple is Reverend Sharon Ferguson and Franka Streitzel, and the lead heterosexual couple are Catherine Doyle and Tom Freeman. Our legal case is being prepared by Professor Robert Wintermuth, Professor of Human Rights Law at King's College in London. So I'd like now to hand over to Robert to just explain the legal aspects of this case and what we intend to do in terms of making a case that these twin bans violate the Human Rights Act and are open to challenge in the courts.
Thanks, Peter. The European Convention on Human Rights, which is incorporated into UK law by the Human Rights Act 1998, contains a very strong prohibition of discrimination based on sexual orientation. This can be found in the case law of the European Court of Human Rights on Article 14 on non-discrimination, Article 8 on respect to family life, and can be applied to Article 12, right to marry. The existing legislation in the UK, the legislation on marriage, involves discrimination based on sexual orientation. The sexual orientation of the couple determines whether or not they're allowed to marry. The Civil Partnership Act involves discrimination based on sexual orientation. Again, the sexual orientation determines whether or not you're allowed to have a civil partnership. Now, why is this? How can the government justify this when the rights attached to both legal institutions are identical, including in all areas of parental rights, access to adoption of children, donor insemination, surrogacy, etc. For most purposes, the two institutions are identical except for the name. Why is the system of segregation of couples being maintained?
Do you want to just explain that you think there is a credible case to be brought, for example, in the High Court, under the Human Rights Act?
Well, there is a very clear case under the Convention rights, and the onus is on the government to provide a justification. It's sufficient for these couples to go to a court and say, we are being excluded from an opportunity in a democratic society because of our sexual orientation. Why? And the government really has no answer. The only answer they could give is, well, we want to still make it clear that in our society, lesbian and gay people are inferior to heterosexual people. That's why we must direct them to a separate institution with a separate name. They must walk through a different door. But that is not going to, no court is going to accept that as a justification. You cannot discriminate for the sake of discriminating.